How's it going, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. Jack here at the Mindful Homestead, and today we're going to talk a little bit about my choice in tractors and if it was really the right one. Want to go for a tractor ride?
Yeah.
All right, let's go.
I want a tractor. Is this a tractor?
Yep. Ready? So behind me is our 2018 Kubota BX2380 tractor. We bought this tractor new back in 2018. We bought it about a month before Emma was actually born. So Emma's gonna be 3 years old a couple weeks from now, later in September. So the tractor is just over 3 years old that we've had it now. If you're not familiar with who we are and what we're doing, we have a small farm and homestead here in southwestern New Hampshire. We're on about 10.5 acres of mostly wooded land, and we raise pigs, we raise pastured poultry. The first year we had the tractor, we were raising our first year of pigs, and we wanted something that was kind of an all-purpose small farm tractor. Something we could do driveway maintenance with, something we could mow the lawn with, something we could move mulch and dirt with, something we could tend to our garden with. We wanted something that was essentially a lawnmower on steroids. In the past, I've objected to using the term lawnmower on steroids for a Kubota BX or any other subcompact tractor, and that's mainly been because these tractors afford you the ability to do so much more than a small lawn tractor would. They've got rear 3-point hitches on them where you can run PTO-driven implements. They're built with heavier frames overall than your standard garden tractor would be. Most of them are going to be running diesel engines instead of gasoline engines. While I say we were looking for a lawnmower on steroids, I should make it clear that that was our construct heading into our shopping and purchasing mindset, and not necessarily what the tractor we ended up with actually was. The tractor we got was way more than just a lawnmower on steroids, in my opinion. It was a great tractor. But since that first year that we raised pigs, our farm has changed a little bit in the scope of things and what we're doing. Let me show you. Gonna take a little walk into the woods. Behind me, you can see this year's batch of pigs, and they think they're getting a snack, so they're being a little loud. But the main thing I want to show here is that, is that the 3 pigs we raised that first year has grown a little bit. Let's go back up here so you can actually hear me talk. You see, we started with 3 pigs, and things started happening for us in terms of people being interested about what we were doing. People were reaching out to us, said they wanted us to raise a pig for them. As you can see behind me, we do things a little bit different when we're raising our animals. And one of the things we do is that we run our pigs in the woods. A lot of what you see back there is oak and beech, and both of those trees have a mast crop that they drop on the ground. Oaks drop acorns, and beech trees drop beech nuts. That's food that the pigs can forage for on the forest floor, and in turn, it affects the taste of their meat in the long run. They have a lot of natural forage, and the product that we get from them is much more delicious and much better in quality than what you can get in the grocery store. So originally we started raising our pork this way, and soon we started getting emails from people we knew, people we didn't know, saying, hey, I would like to buy some of your pork. Can we make that happen? And we did. We scaled up. In New Hampshire, we're able to sell whole and half shares of our pigs, where people pay us a deposit in advance, and we raise the animal for them, we deliver it to the butcher, and that animal is butchered for them and delivered to them, and they technically own that animal, so we don't have to go through USDA slaughterhouses. It's a great way where if you're looking for pork but you don't necessarily want to buy it a la carte, you want to buy it in quantity, you can link up with a local farm and they can go through what's called a USDA exempt process, and that's how we do the whole thing. You can go sit on it if you want. She wants to sit back on the tractor. We've grown substantially over the last couple years, and it's made it so that we've had to alter the way that we farm. I'll show you what's going on with that whole thing. Raising as many pigs as we are, this stack of grain that you see right here, which used to be 2 rows higher, is only about a month and maybe a week's worth of feed. We're buying our feed bagged by the ton currently, and while it's works out okay logistically, it presents kind of a pricing issue for us in that bagged feed is more expensive than if you were to buy 2,000 pounds of feed in a tote, which is essentially a big bag that you can dispense from the bottom with. It's not that I can't find a tote of pig feed locally for a decent price, but it's that there's a hang up in my handling plan of a tote of pig feed. You see, with 2,000 pounds in a bag, you need the ability to move that all at once. Buying in 50-pound bags is great because I can put a pallet of pig feed in the bed of my truck, I can bring it home no problem, and then I can move individual 50-pound bags of feed wherever I need them to be, whether it's dumping them into 5-gallon buckets to feed the pigs, whether it's putting them on a pallet, moving them from the back of my truck into the garage. Having the ability to move around 50-pound increments of feed is helpful, but you're going to spend about $100 to $150 more to buy your feed in bags like this than you will if you just got it in one 2,000-pound tote. So where is that hole in the setup of handling? Well, it's not in the truck because my truck can move 2,000 pounds in the bed. It's not in space in the garage because I can obviously store 2,000 pounds of feed in the garage. And we're only feeding the pigs around 50 to 56 pounds of feed a day, basically 2 5-gallon buckets topped all the way off. I can carry those down no problem, 1 bucket in each hand. So not to point any fingers, but if I'm looking for the shortcoming in this whole operation, it's the Kubota. You see, if we're talking realistically, the Kubota BX can do 400 to maybe 500 pounds on the front of this loader, and it's not necessarily limited by the hydraulic system because you can shim that and you can make your hydraulic system really strong. It's more limited over the fact that this is just a small tractor. It is what it is. It's limited in its size. This tractor could be made from solid steel. It could be twice, possibly even 3 times the weight that it is now, and moving a 2,000-pound load with the front bucket on this or with the loader would just cause it to be super unstable. The wheelbase is too short, the width of the vehicle is too short, the track, if you will. It's not built to handle loads that are that heavy. And I've got the box blade on the back of it, and while the box blade does work great in the 4-foot width, our driveway is not 4 feet wide, and I could be doing a lot more work on a larger tractor. I would just need a bigger box blade. And I can't help but think how great it would be to roll right up to the back of my truck with a 2,000-pound tote of pig feed in it, put the loader over top, attach the tote to the loader, lift it up, and pop it in the garage on a stand that I can build, which would allow me to fill buckets from the bottom from that tote. As opposed to the process now, which is hand loading 40 bags out of the back of my truck and into the garage, which is not undoable, but again, it's more expensive and it's more time consuming. Not to mention, you can see the trees all around me on our property. We have 10.5 acres of trees, and we have dreams of pulling logs out of the woods, throwing them onto a sawmill, milling our own timber, and doing things like building barns, building sheds, building sugar shacks for maple syrup, which I like to do. It doesn't really make any money, but it's a hobby. You know, it's something that's fun. We have some tentative plans to build a greenhouse this coming spring, and we'd like to do that with timbers that we could mill off of our own property. The little BX, as much as I like it, it's just not cut out for moving sawable logs and doing it in a way that is confidence inspiring. You can do it, but it's always going to be a little bit sketchy. I guess with that said, I can kind of be out in the open and let you know that we're considering purchasing a new tractor. Now, I'll add to that statement, this is not something that we're looking to do right now or in the immediate future. There are a whole host of supply chain issues going on right now that I just don't feel like contending with. We're gonna have pigs coming onto the farm next spring, but we're gonna be doing 10 pigs next spring. We're doing 9 pigs this year. We've got a system in place that works now. It's just not as fluid and seamless as we would like it to be for that sort of thing. Obviously, the timbers are something we'd be looking to do this winter, so that wouldn't help. But at the same time, we're not going to be doing the logging on the property come this winter. We are going to have an outside company we're going to have an outside company coming in to do that. And I'm pretty sure that it would be fairly easy for me to say, hey, since you're already skidding that log out of the woods, could you take it and put it over here? We're going to hang on to that one. We're not going to sell that timber. We're going to keep it for ourselves. If it feels like I'm dropping a bunch of information in this video that you haven't heard in the past and you're wondering if you missed it, don't worry. The logging is something I haven't really talked about seriously. I'm going to make another video this weekend where I talk a little bit more about it, what we're looking to do, the scope of everything, and we'll go from there. But the biggest thing is that we're not in any rush to get rid of the BX. I'm not unhappy with it. It's performed flawlessly for us so far, as long as we stay in the scope of what the tractor actually is for. Once you start pushing it to its limits, that's where you start running into problems, and I'm a pretty safety-oriented guy. I don't necessarily want to find myself pushing this thing to the brink and putting me or my wife or my child in an unsafe situation. So all of that said, what are we looking for? Here's kind of my list of wants. I'm looking for a bucket that will lift 2,000 pounds with a little bit of room to spare. I know that's a big ask. You're getting into a big tractor, and if that's where we're gonna be, that's where we're gonna be. Obviously, it doesn't have to lift 2,000 pounds with the bucket on. 2,000 pounds at the pins would be pretty sufficient, although I'd like to see more around 2,500 at the pins, just so I'm a little bit safe there. I'd like to have the ability to run a front mount snowblower on the tractor. As you can see, if you look at our driveway, it's long, it's meandering, it's gravel. Snow plowing, I end up plowing most of my driveway material right into the woods, and it's a chore to get it back. So if I could run a front mount snowblower, I'd like to do that. Honestly, the simpler of a front mount blower setup, the better. Mid-mount PTO would be great. I know getting up into the horsepowers we're talking about, mid-mount PTOs tend to not be, there's a bug crawling around me. Mid-mount PTOs tend to not be all that common, but I'm hoping that someone out there does it. I would like a hydrostatic transmission because I want Jackie and later Emma, where'd she go? Right there. I want them to have the ability to run the tractor and not have to learn how to use a shuttle shift or clutch or anything like that. Those are the 3 musts. One more I'm kicking around is I would like a cab, heated and cooled. You know, I'm starting to get older. I like the creature comforts, like having a warm place to snow blow. I don't need that, but I'd like it. If you have any recommendations, if you have a tractor that meets these requirements and you know what I should be looking for, or you think I should check them out, leave a comment down below. I'm open to all brands of tractors. I'm a Kubota guy, but in reality, I want to get the tractor that best fits me. Keep in mind, southwestern New Hampshire is where we're located, so if you know a tractor brand that you think I should be checking out, and you happen just to, you know, search so-and-so dealer, southern New Hampshire, and nothing pops up, you know, just something to think about. But within an hour of me, I have Kubota, New Holland, Yanmar, Mahindra, Massey Ferguson. There's a Coyote dealer about an hour and 15 minutes away. Pretty much everyone is around. So, and they're dealers that I haven't heard terrible things about. You know, I've heard a bunch of really good things about some of the dealers, but there aren't really any dealers around that I've heard terrible things about. So there's no one that really, there's no one that's completely off the list right now. Again, I'm a Kubota guy, but I'm really about getting myself in the right tractor. That's going to be it for this video. Emma wants to get back on the tractor, so I'm going to pop her back over there. We're going to drive around the yard a little bit more. As always, thanks for watching the video and have a great day. Bye. Bye.